What y'all trying to do? 21 karat magic in the air. What up, brother?
Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the show. I hope everybody is tuning tonight. Hey, man, how you doing, man? Kevin Booze, how you doing as well, brother? Good to see you. We're excited about tonight's show. We're gonna get rocking here in a minute. A few people are saying to jump on. I hope everybody's had a wonderful day and you're feeling good today. Good evening to you.
How you feeling, Q?
Man, I'm feeling great. How about yourself, little brother?
I'm doing well, my friend. I'm doing well. So,
all right.
Yo, Q, I wanna who we got out there tonight? Kim Knight. What's up, Kim Knight?
Hey, Kim, how you doing?
All right. Q, I wanna do our promo so folks can see what we've been working on, trying to take the show to the next level. So I'm gonna let you.
All right. Sounds good. Right. Sounds good to me. Like I said, I hope everybody's had a wonderful day, and we're gonna get into some great information tonight. So I hope you're ready to listen and tune in as we get it in tonight, okay?
Okay, brother. Got some power-packed information for tonight.
Guess who's back again?
What's up, Kevin Food? What's up, brother?
Hey, Keith Corbett, how you doing, my brother?
Rin, what's up? It's all right to hear life. All right to give some love up. Keith Corbett, I see you waving, brother. I like your love.
Hey, Keith, you know I was supposed to hit you today, too, but I will.
No doubt. It's okay to like, okay to share. Spread the word too. Every Tuesday night we're gonna be doing this. Trying to get some folks some information. All right, Q. Showtime, baby. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling fantastic. I hope you are as well. I hope everybody out there is feeling great as well. Look, guys, we're really excited. We're really excited about this new format. It's a chance for us to share information with you guys, and not only verbally share it, but now we'll have the visuals to go along with it. So, because I know some people are visual learners, and we feel by adding the visual part to it, it's going to take the show to a whole new level. So I hope you guys are excited about it. We have a lot of great things planned with this show, and we're just going to make this the best we can make it for everyone watching, okay? Hey, honey, with that said, let's get started, brother.
All right, no problem, my friend. What's up, Jeff Brown? Thanks for tuning in tonight, brother.
Hey, how's it going, Jeff?
All right, Q. So tonight's host is Q, as always. Great night. He's started this whole thing, and he kind of brought me in. So give some love to my brother. Okay, hit the love and the pound and the like signs. And of course, I'm the co-host, so appreciate that like, appreciate that love. So Q, what's tonight's subject?
Well, tonight we're going to talk about the 7 keys, successful keys when intermittent fasting. You know, and there's some tips to intermittent fasting that makes this thing really work for you. And to make it easy for anybody to have success. This is not a complicated process once you know the keys to it. So that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to cover tonight.
All right, so give number 1. Q, what's number 1, brother?
You know, the number 1 thing, and I've talked about this with some folks via phone and messenger and everything else, is having patience. You know, I want you to think about it this way. You didn't gain 30 pounds in 2 weeks. So don't expect to lose 30 pounds in 2 weeks. It just doesn't work that way. There is a science to this, and I want you guys to have patience, because if you stick with the protocols and stick with the program, I can guarantee you one thing, you will have results.
Well, look, you don't need to go no further than to look at you to see that you know, success will happen to you.
Absolutely.
And it will come to you if you have some patience, like you say. You know, I'm still in the process of myself, you know, because I'm over the years, I picked up so much weight, it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? I was like,
you and I both, brother.
pressing 3 bills at one point, Q. You know what I mean? I was like,
I had passed that threshold, bro.
I felt it though too. I felt it in my health. I felt, you know, the sickness and, you know, aches and pains and, you know,
Yes.
all kinds of things that was happening. So I knew I had to make some changes to kind of bring myself back to who, you know, I really was. So, but patience, it takes some time. It takes time to really, you know, get to where you need to get to. So, you know, it's no rushes. So, you know, speak to them a little bit about, you know, what that looks like, Q.
Yes, you know, as Lenny said that, you know, you need to take your time, give yourself a chance for this thing to work for you. I don't want you to come in with unrealistic expectations like, okay, if I start intermittent fasting, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds in 1 week. It doesn't happen that way. There's gonna be a small adjustment period. And what it's all about is about you changing your perspective with food and your relationship with food. You're gonna start to build new habits, you know, when it comes to food. I find that so many of our old behaviors lead to us gaining weight. Well, what we're going to do in this process is learn new behaviors, build new habits and new behaviors. And that's what it's all, and that's what it's going to consist of. And
Right.
I really want you to understand, Lenny, I want you to talk about this too, but I really want you guys to understand that we always emphasize this, that intermittent fasting is not a diet. It's not a diet.
No doubt.
And so many people get caught up on that. But let me tell them what intermittent fasting really is. It's not a diet, it's what?
It's just a voluntary removal of eating. That's all it is. And so, and it's a time-based protocol, basically. And, you know, getting back to what this slide says, you know, if you hate diets, then great, we got you. Because this is not a diet. We don't want you to consider it a diet, because most people go on a diet, and a diet, you know, it's usually measured by a period of time or amount of weight you want to lose. And you kind of really goal-oriented on a diet. So when you hit that 10 pounds or that 20 pounds, and you be like, boom, I hit my goal. Or you hit a certain number of days or whatever that is. And then what happens next, Q, is people kind of fall back into their old pattern.
Old habits, brother.
Or start trying to slip in. Well, I got 20 now. I can go knock this pizza out tonight. You know what I mean? I can get knock that 6-pack off. I'm watching the game. You know what I'm saying? All of those type of things. What's up, Brown? I see you, Annette, Dorothea, Ren, and Brittany Nicole.
Yeah, Lenny, but as you were saying, it's so true because it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. And what happens is people who try different diets, and I'm seeing different things out here, you know, like I've talked about this in the past, your Weight Watchers and people doing shakes and that kind of stuff, meal replacement shakes with protein shakes. I'm seeing one man out here with a tea and all that kind of stuff. And all those things are good for a short term.
Right. No
but
doubt.
They're not sustainable over the long haul. And the reason why is because once you end that, what happens? You fall back into those old behaviors like we talked about, and those old habits, and that weight will creep right back up. And before you know it, you're right back where you started at.
Right.
So that's why the difference with intermittent fasting is it's a lifestyle change. It's something that you're going to live the rest of your life doing. And it's easy. And like the slide says here, we're making light of it in a joke, but fasting doesn't mean eating fast food. It doesn't mean, okay, I'm breaking my fast and I'm taking off of McDonald's, I'm taking off of Wendy's, you know, everything within moderation, but you want to make sure that you're eating quality foods as well. You want to expound upon that, brother?
Yeah, and I mean, you know, just talking about the previous slide that talks about, you know, not a diet, you know, really it's a mental change so that, you know, I've tried every diet. I mean, I did the you know, the low carb diet, the Atkins,
yes,
you know, everything.
Yes.
When I was pushing 3 bills, I was trying anything, you know, you know, just to try to bring it off. And to a point, some of them were successful. QID.
Oh yeah, yeah, there was some
pounds and all that, but you know, it always came back. So then when one of the things that really got me into fasting as a protocol was I started juice fasting about, I don't know, it must have been like 7, 8 years ago now. And juice fasting worked for me.
Yes.
but I did it. I had to do it for 30 days though. That was the thing. And I lost. I got back down to my high school ball playing weight. I was like 180 something now. You know what I mean? I really got there tremendously low, but it wasn't sustainable. So I did pick back up weight.
There we go. There we go.
So then when I learned about this intermittent fasting thing, and I started talking to you about it, and because I know you've been through some stuff, you've tried some stuff too.
Oh man, protein shakes, the teas and all that kind of stuff I'm seeing popping up now. And I'm not trying to blast on anybody for trying that stuff, but like I said, the thing is, we want something that's sustainable. That's the key. You know, short-term things, they'll work for a little while, but once you get off of that short-term thing, whether it be Weight Watchers or whatever it is, South Beach diet, whatever the case may be, once you get off of that, the tendency is to slide back to your old behaviors. So like I said, we want to continue to say that this is a lifestyle change, okay?
Mm-hmm. So what's the next tip, Q?
All right, so next thing we're going to talk about, we want to talk about choosing or picking a protocol. In other words, we want you to decide a feeding and fasting window that works for you. Now, one of the things I want you guys to understand that we all have different lifestyles. Some of us work different hours from others. Some of you may have night jobs. Some of you work early in the morning. Some of you work in the evenings or afternoons. And so because of that, our lifestyles and the way we live our lives can be a little different. What we normally do is we give you a beginning window, which is a 16-hour fasting window followed by 8-hour eating window. And what we've said in the past was that you may want to start your eating window at 12 noon and close it off at 8 p.m. Well, for some folks, that may not be feasible. What if you're someone who works overnight and during that 12 p.m. time, you're asleep? So we want you to pick a protocol that works for you. The same numbers apply, the same principles apply, but the hours may change to it. And you can do a 16-hour fast, which is what we recommend for beginners. Yeah. You can do an 18-hour fast where your feeding hour is only 6 hours. You can do a 20-hour fast, which is nicknamed the warrior fast, in which you give yourself a 4-hour eating window. Or you can do the OMAD fast, which I told you guys, I don't recommend that for people starting off. That was how I started because I was gung-ho, but that's not what I recommend for anybody. So that is something you may want to build yourself up to. But the reason we're showing you the other fasting hours is because of the benefits that you receive the longer your fasting window is open and the smaller your feeding window is. There's a lot more in the way of benefits from overall, not only weight loss, but other things that we talked about last week, the longer you fast. But if you're in that 16-hour time frame of fasting with the 8-hour window, you're golden. But make sure it fits your time schedule.
Correct, Q. And as I say, everybody has like a human bio clock.
Yes, talk about that, brother.
And the bio clock is something that's innate to you. Something that, either you're a person that's usually like hungry in the morning or hungry in the midday or hungry in the evening or late night. You got to learn your pattern, your pattern that works for you. And a lot of it is habitual, to tell you the truth, because you've trained your bio clock. You trained yourself to want to be hungry at midnight every night, or if you stay up late or watch the games, whatever it is, you've trained yourself. And that's a behavioral pattern that was bad. The good news is this: if you trained yourself to do that, you can untrain yourself or change your bio clock to train yourself for a new bio clock that fits for you. And it's all about repetitive behaviors and repetitive habits. What's up, Peaches, Deidre? What's up, Selena? Thanks for joining us, jumping on here tonight.
Good to see you, Jack Abrams. Good to see you, Sharon Colbert. Good to see you, Deirdre. Good to see you, Selena. Yep. I just want to say hi to everybody who's on board tonight. And yeah, just to piggyback off what you were just saying, we do have a human bio clock. And one of the things I found, and I just want to expound upon this a little bit, that your body has certain reactions. You talked about the reactions. And I know for me, particularly when I was first beginning, the most difficult period I had when staying in my fasting window after I closed my feeding window
Okay.
was the time from around 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock at night, because my body was trained to snack then. That was TV, that was TV watching time, which means that was potato chip and chocolate chip cookie
That was your
and
favorite.
soda time or something, you know, all those kind of stuff that I really didn't need.
Yeah.
Knowing that I just had a big meal previously, but yet I was in front of the TV watching sports and I felt like I had to have something to eat. Well, now when I'm going through that period, I pull out this. I just pull out this, a bottle. This is not a bottle of beer, y'all. I don't want y'all to think it's a quart of beer.
You got that 40 over there, boy.
This is some Italian sparkling water. And I'm going to tell you what, this stuff is incredible, guys. Because the carbonation in this water will satiate you and kick out any hunger pains you may have, any feelings of wanting food. You drink some of this, you're golden, man. I'm gonna tell you, it really works.
But Q, that was the learned behavior too, right?
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
Your previous behavior when you was watching the Wizards or whoever you was watching, or the Ravens or whatever it was, you associate certain behaviors with certain activities. So, you know, because I still drink alcohol, you know what I mean? And that's, you know, because I like drinking wine. I've been in the wine business, but I've taught myself now to not associate a game with drinking a beer all the time. You know, I don't have to have a beer because the game is on. I can enjoy other things, but that's a learned behavior, and that's learning your bio clock and learning to adjust it. Because what you're trying to do basically is feel satiated and hit that sweet spot, Q. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, look, Q, I've been playing around with these logos, so
yeah.
So I want a little interaction from you guys, if you can. Thank you, Jeff, on the information. Hey, Paris, what's up, baby? Good to
Hey,
see
Paris,
you.
good to see you. Good to see you, dear.
Yes, indeed. Good to see you. Thanks for the likes and the love. So,
Mhm.
you know, I've been playing around with these logos, and I want the folks to help us. I created 2 logos, and I really don't know which one to use, so I'm gonna throw them out. So this is the logo number 1. This is the blue logo. So if you like the blue logo, Light Brothers logo, you know, hit blue or type in blue or logo ones, you know, let me know what you think or something like that. And so that's logo number 1. And then we can tell which ones we like too, Q, which one you like. This logo.
The other one first. Okay.
This is the red logo, logo number 2, Night Brothers Intermittent Fasting Show. So y'all tell us what you like. You know what I mean? Tell us what you like, vote for it. And then we'll kind of go from there, and then we'll start using that logo moving forward. So
just put down a 1 or 2, and that way we'll have a better idea what you guys like as far as the logo is concerned.
sure,
And we
one
do
more
want your
time.
feedback.
One more time.
We appreciate your feedback. There's the logo 1.
The blue one. And that's the red one, logo 2.
Logo 2. So just let us know down below. Just type in 1 or 2, and we'll go from there. Kevin Boo said he liked number 2. That's cool. That's cool, Kevin. All right. We just want everybody's input.
But number 2, the leader in the clubhouse so far, because Kevin voted.
Way to go, Kev. Kev, set the pace, brother. Set the pace.
No doubt. So Q, this is what I felt like when I first started intermittent fasting.
Oh Lord, yeah, yeah. I mean, because guys, let me just interject here for a second, because I do want to say this. I do want to say that, you know, when you first begin intermittent fasting, there is going to be an adjustment period, an adaptation period, really, basically what it is, and because you're changing, like I said, your relationship with food, and the simplification of it is that your body is going to kind of rebel against this change initially. And so it's going to throw you those signals that I'm hungry, when you're really not hungry. So don't be surprised by that, but can keep on going, Larry.
Okay, cool. So next tip, Q, the big one, boy. This is a big one right here.
Yeah, this is a real big one here. You know, mindset. You know, and we talked a little bit about this earlier. But who's really in charge here? You know, like I said, your body is going to be saying, damn, I'm hungry. Man, I want something to eat. I had a friend of mine, I was talking to her the other day, and she was telling me that, wow, I don't know if I could do this because I'm so hungry. I feel so hungry. I almost feel faint. And I said, how long have you not eaten? She said, 10 hours. I'm like, 10 hours, you know, that's not even that much time. It's just your body getting used to a different way of living. And it'll take a few days for you to adjust to that. So your body is saying one thing, but your mind is telling you this. Okay, you so hungry.
Yeah, like
Your
R.
mind
Kelly,
says,
boy.
"Drink
You
some
sound
of
like
this."
R. Kelly over there. Your body telling you this, your mind saying.
Yes, sir. Just drink some water. You'll feel fine. And then at 9 o'clock, like I said, it's 9 p.m. Where's my snack? Where's my popcorn? Where's my potato chips? Where's my apple? Where's my whatever it is, a piece of cake? It's just old habits. You're really not hungry. You're really not hungry. I mean, we have stores of energy that our body can run off of. And that's one of the keys of intermittent fasting. Those stores of energy. That stored energy is your fat.
We'll talk about some of that as we get deeper into the shows.
Yes.
Because we're trying to keep it really basic the first couple of shows, and then we'll talk about the science part of this and what intermittent fasting really does at the cellular level and in your body when you're going through those changes in your metabolism. And like Q say, I drink a lot of these. These like sparkling waters, like this Spindrift. This Spindrift right here is like 9 calories, this flavor. And if you keep things under 10 calories or no calories, because a lot of times people want to know, Q, what can they have during their fasting window? You know, can they, you know, some people ask me, can I eat a little bit of something? You know what I mean? So can you talk about that for a quick second, Q?
Yes. You know, I'm a purist. I am personally. I'm just telling you the way I come at this. I'm a purist when it comes to fasting. And even though hypothetically there are some things that would only raise your insulin level slightly, anything that'll kick me out of fat burning mode during my fasting window, I avoid it. So I go with the things that I know basically that will not affect my fat burning mode at all. And that's water, black coffee. And I said black coffee, that means no cream, no sugar, green tea. Once again, no artificial sweetener of any type. No cream in it. Carbonated water like this.
Right.
Apple cider vinegar. And it's
the LaCroix.
The LaCroix. They're fine, stuff like that. Those are the things that you can have, and they won't hurt you at all. Because remember, the key is this. And because people ask, can I have an apple? Can I just have an apple or something, or banana? No, you can't. And it's not that we're trying to be tough on you, but it's a science to this, as we talked about. We'll go over this more. But anything that you eat or drink that spikes your insulin levels, even a little bit, kicks you out of fat burning mode.
Right.
And you have to, and if it's only something small, it may only take you an hour or so to come back down. But still, that's an hour in which you could be burning fat, running off of that stored fuel that your body has called fat.
Yeah.
So we want to avoid that at all costs if we can.
So I'm just going to give you a little teeny bit of science just so you can understand what Q is saying. When you're fasting, what your body is doing, your body's running off. When you're eating, your body is running off of glucose. That's the number one form that your body wants to use for energy.
Correct.
So when you start your fasting, your body has to burn through all the glucose and everything before it gets to a baseline point where your insulin levels are very low. And I know it's a little, talking a little technical here, but if you're going to get into this, you have to learn some basics of it. And we're going to answer that question about what can you do for a diabetic. First thing I say is consult your doctor, because we are not doctors. You know what I mean? We are not doctors, and I want to put that disclaimer out there right now. We just some regular Annapolitans that learned the protocol that worked for us, and we want to pass it on to other folks to help them in their lifestyle, help them to be healthier. So, but anyway, your body, after it burns through that glucose, and that's usually in your first 8 to 10, 12 hours of your fast, then it starts looking for other sources of energy, and that's when it starts to look for stored fats. And your stored fats start to become used in your body for energy. So, and that's how you start burning off fat. And that's like really it in a simplistic form that I can possibly say. It is a little bit deeper than that, but I'm just, throwing that out there for you right now. Hey, Debbie Wilkinson, thanks for joining us tonight.
And I do want to add to that, the fact of being a diabetic, like Lenny said, we're not physicians, and we should consult your physician. But I can lead you to some research that's going on by Dr. Jason Fong, who's a staunch advocate for using intermittent fasting as a way to combat type 2 diabetes. And the reason why he's such a staunch advocate for it is because traditionally type 2 diabetes is treated by treating the symptom and not the disease itself.
Right, brother.
And so intermittent fasting attacks the disease itself, which is insulin resistance, which is the real culprit for your diabetic condition. So intermittent fasting attacks that, and in doing so, it can alleviate those problems that you have from diabetes. So his name is Dr. Jason Fong, Jason Fong. You can find him on YouTube or other places. Just look him up, and you'll see his research and many others who are really looking into this as a way of combating type 2 diabetes and helping people to combat type 2 diabetes. So I just wanted to add that.
Absolutely, and it does so much more, Q. From the inflammation standpoint, from the leaky gut syndrome.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There's so many different things that intermittent fasting helps to alleviate, and you'll be surprised if you get past the first 2 or 3 days of doing it, because that's when your body is going through detoxing and things of that nature, and headaches the first couple of days, and all kinds of things. But your body adapts and adjusts. It's so fast. It's amazing how that happens.
Absolutely.
So Q, what's the next tip that and this one worked for you a lot?
Oh yeah. And I've talked about this in the past, but I recommend that anybody just getting started, take some pictures of yourself. I mean, take a picture, in your bathing suit, if you want to. You can just take just something somewhat revealing. It's just for you personally. And the reason you want to do that, you want to have a reference or starting point. Know where you started. Because as you continue on, as you see some of the samples here, as you continue on with your fasting protocol, you're going to be able to visually see the differences. And the thing about that, what that really does, it helps you so much mentally. You see that, gosh, man, this stuff is really working, and it motivates you. And you want to continue, and it becomes something that drives you to even more success. So always take pictures of yourself before you begin. Weigh yourself as well. But when you weigh yourself initially, don't, and I had this conversation recently with someone as well, don't constantly stay on the scale every other day. Oh my God, I lost a pound. Your clothes will tell you all you need to know.
That's true.
I'm going to relay this story with you guys. I told you before, when I first started, I weighed myself and I took pictures. I didn't weigh myself again for 90 days, probably 3 months before I stepped on a scale again. But the reason I didn't is because, number one, I could see the picture. I know the pictures that I took, and I knew what I looked like in the mirror. And I could see the changes taking place rapidly after 2 weeks. After 3 weeks, I could start to see the changes. And I could see the changes in my clothes. My clothes were loosening up. My belt was loosening up. And so I didn't touch a scale for 90 days. When I finally decided to get on the scale, after 90 days, I had to do a double take. I was like, whoa, no, this can't be right. I was in the gym. I had to go to another scale, Lenny. And I said, this scale must be broken because this can't be right. I went to the other scale and it said the same exact thing. And I was like, Jesus Lord, I've lost 70 pounds.
Yeah, man.
I've lost 70 pounds.
You was doing the thing, boy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, brother. I mean, so don't get so caught up on weighing yourself every day. If you just have some consistency with the protocols that we're telling you about, it's going to work. Look at examples of these people here.
Yeah.
It works, guys. It works.
Yeah. Hey, McCain, what's up?
Hey, Cuzzo, what's up? How you doing, Cuzzo? Good to see you.
Lenny Rice, what's up? What's going on?
What's that, nephew? And Keith Colbert can attest to that too. Keith knows that consistency will allow you to have success. Keith has shared with Lenny, with you and I, and with others as well, how through intermittent fasting, he's been able to drop 40 pounds. He's probably up to 40, probably 45 now in just a short period of time.
He probably can dunk again, Keith. Keith Coleman, can you dunk again, son? Yeah, Keith, you are doing an amazing job, brother. I mean, just keep it up, man, because we're trying to create a community, and what it's about is inspiring each other. It's not
Yes.
about the vanity part of it, about, you look good. I mean, of course, everybody got an ego and they want to look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this is really about your health at the core, because
Bingo, brother.
some of the things that intermittent fasting do will really help alleviate some of your aches, pains, and symptoms, because a lot of disease start in the gut. And
Yes.
I mean, I was sick as a dog when I was fat, and I knew it, and I kept going to the doctors. Couldn't nobody tell me what was wrong with me. They was prescribing this and that and all that. I was like, man, I got to find this out for myself. So a very good friend of mine, Arden Smith, we call him Natural. He was vegetarian for years. He started me on my journey.
Yes.
Spy Road Brothers, for the Spy Road is out there, and really kind of helped me along my way a whole lot to get me going. But Q, so let's talk about the next thing, because the pictures is huge, and Debbie Wilkerson, you are so right about that.
No question, Debbie. I want to say hello to Anthony Sanders, who's on board as well. How you doing? Good to see you as well. But yeah, man, that is so key, taking pictures. Now, the other part of it is this. We talked about your fasting window and your eating window, and after that 16-hour fast, for most of you, we recommend a 16-hour fast for the beginner, followed by an 8-hour eating window. The key thing is this: when you break your fast, there's a certain way that you should break your fast, and you have to remember your body has not partaken of food for that 16-hour period.
Yep.
So don't break your fast by running to Burger King and getting a Whopper and a large fry and a milkshake, an apple pie, and a brownie and a cookie. That's not how you really want to break your fast. First of all, you should give your stomach a chance to adjust. And I'm gonna tell you how I usually break my fast. You guys see my meals. I usually break it with a salad or some soup or raw vegetables, carrots, cauliflower, broccoli, things of that nature. I'll break it with that initially. After I had that, then I go on to my other portion of the meal, my proteins and fats and other things of that nature. But don't binge and overeat, guys. It doesn't give you a license to be a glutton after you fast. I mean, it's just, first of all, it's unhealthy for you, and it spikes your insulin levels really high, particularly if it's loaded with carbs. And it takes a longer time for you to reach that baseline that we talked about, coming back down to baseline. So be smarter about what you eat. Now, am I saying that you can't treat yourself and have a slice of pizza, have some pizza sometime or things of that nature? Of course you can, but don't go crazy with it. Lenny, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I mean, watch the carbs when you break your fast. I mean, I would, carbs. Remember, the whole science to this thing is watching your baseline for your insulin. That's the whole science to having success with this new diet and what new lifestyle. I'm gonna say, not even in the diet. Let me get that out of our vocabulary. But watching your insulin baseline. So when you load back up on carbs, when you come out of your fasting window, you go back to your feeding window and you start loading up on carbs. Remember, carbs turn into sugars. When they're broken down into your body and they use as energy, they turn into sugars, and that usually spikes your insulin way up.
Yes.
And we're gonna talk about this in another slide or two, but when your insulin is way up, it takes a while for it to come back down for you to get the baseline. So if you can have more complex carbs, because it is carbs in vegetables.
But they're complex carbs, and they're not nearly as many. They're not nearly as many in vegetables.
Right, but those vegetables, those type of carbs will sustain you longer. You're more satiated. You feel fuller longer, because when you're running on, those sugary carbs, it tends to make you want to eat more of it. And I always use the Chinese food example that, you eat Chinese food and all of that rice, and you keep wanting more, and then an hour or two later, you're still not full.
Yep.
It turns into sugars, basically. So I would say, try to load up on some vegetables, some fruits, or some liquidy foods that kind of fill your stomach more, like you say, soup, lettuces, salads, those types of things, because they have a lot of water content. They usually make you feel fuller faster, and they satiate you much quicker. So
They sure
you
do.
gotta really watch how you come back after you break your fast. So, and this is what I was talking about. Step number 6, eat sensible.
Yes.
This is tip number 6, eat sensible. What's up, Tim? Tim Wilson for joining. Thanks for joining in tonight. Carla Owens, what's up? Eat sensible. And this is what I was talking about. Remember, insulin spiking takes a long time to return to baseline. So those high glucose foods, they got a lot of sugar in them, at the red level, it spikes you up really high, and it takes a long time for you to come back to baseline. So that, because when you get back to baseline and you back into your fasting window after you finish your feeding window, that's when you can go through faster to get back to burning fats instead of burning the sugar from the foods that you just ate. That makes sense, Q? Or you want to?
Oh yeah, you definitely want to get back down to baseline, or back down zeroed out to where your body is then running off of that stored energy, which is your fat. And that's the magic of intermittent fasting.
It is. That's the whole magic.
People think that this is difficult. It's really not. It's just science. It's just science. Like you said, you eat, and your body runs off the food you eat, and that glucose or sugar. Once your body has used that up, it then has to find another source of energy, which is that fat.
And I'm gonna talk about alcohol in another one of these shows, Q, because during my feeding window, sometimes I have alcohol. I'm a wine person. I like wine. I'm in the wine business. Tim Wilson, you know what's up. You sold me wine before. And I like, drinking my wines in moderation, you know what I mean? But also when you're drinking wine, though, we're gonna break this down in another show.
Oh yeah.
Your wine, your alcohol in your system needs to burn off before your food burns off. So that can really kind of damage intermittent fasting protocol. And I'm not telling you can't have it, but I'm just saying when you first beginning it, the first couple of weeks or so, you might want to steer clear of that a little bit, or dude on with
it. Diminish it.
Right. So that you can get the effects and you can really build up your system to really be effective. So and the last tip for the night, Q, is what?
Support group, just like this one here. The key is, what we find is this: there's strength in numbers. You guys have heard that saying before, and the reason why we really suggest a support group and being with others who are like-minded is because there's so much negativity out in the world. I mean, I remember when I first started this, and the first time I did a broadcast, I had people coming at me about, man, you're starving yourself, because they were uninformed. They really didn't know what intermittent fasting was about. And so they're just going to attack me. And people will attack you without doing any research. They don't know the real science behind things. So they're just going to give what I call hot takes, their opinion without any factual information behind it. So when you surround yourself with like-minded people who have the same goals that you have, you become a family and a network. And that's what we're trying to create here, a network of people, because it's not about me or about my brother. It's about all of us as a community, that we all, the saying, we can all help each other and be there for one another and help our community get healthier. In this time, more so than ever, our health is important. I mean, it's been showed us every single day now, the importance of our health.
You said a mouthful there, brother. I mean,
yes.
This pandemic has exposed a lot of ills that we have in our communities.
No question about it.
And we really need to watch our diets a heck of a lot more than what we're doing before, because it causes a lot of underlying conditions. And those underlying conditions with something like this thing that's out here, this virus, man, it's attacking people and taking people out unnecessarily.
Yeah.
LaCaine had a question, Q.
LaCaine wanted to know which fasting protocol was best for the beginner. We always recommend 16 and 8, the 16 and 8 method, 16 hours of fasting, followed by an 8-hour eating window. And a friend asked me, a good friend of mine, she asked me about, she said, well, what if you can't do 16 hours initially? Well, my answer for those people who don't even feel like they can do 16 hours initially, try to do maybe 14 hours then, and work your way up to 16 hours. You might try to do 14 hours for like a week, and then work your way up to a 16-hour fast. And But 16-hour fast followed by 8-hour eating window, Lacane, is what we recommend, Cuzzo. And that really, it's because of the science behind it. That's the most effective method for it. That's when you're going to get the most of your benefits at least the 16-hour mark. Anything less than that, and you don't receive some of the true benefits of intermittent fasting that are there for you. So you want to have a minimum of 16 hours if at all possible.
And I think I recommend if you're starting, if you're a beginner, or you're just, you're really interested in introducing this protocol, start in the evening, like after your dinner.
Yes.
And this is why. This is an extra tip. It's a bonus tip tonight, Q.
Yes.
But start in the evening, because after your dinner, if you, let's say 8 p.m., you finish your dinner, and don't eat for the rest of the night. You may stay up another couple of hours, you watch some TV, whatever it is that you do. And then you go to sleep, 10, 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night. So you already went 3 or 4 hours. You go to sleep. And let's say you sleep 8 hours. I'm just going to use it for example. I know most people don't. But those hours that you're sleeping overnight, you are still fasting.
That's the great thing right there, brother. That's
fasting, and people don't realize that. So if you got 3 or 4 hours before you went to sleep, and let's say you slept 8, when you wake up in the morning, you done fasted 12 hours already.
Yes.
You already fasted 12 hours. So now it's 8 a.m., let's say, for example. And then you just make it to noon, just skip breakfast, make it to noon. Boom, 16-8. You got 16. Yeah. You in the 16-8 protocol right there.
And listen, and I want to say this for people. Some people say, "Well, man, I love breakfast. That's some of my favorite foods to eat at breakfast." Okay, that's fine, but you just do it a different way. You can have that breakfast food at noon. Have it at noon. Then, after you've reached your 16 hours, have your eggs and bacon. Then make that your first meal of the day. Okay?
Yep.
You can do it that way. There's always ways to work around this, but we want to cover as many questions as we can. Barry Williams, good to see you as well. Good to see you, my brother. Cheryl Brooks, good to see you. Good to have you on. And Keith Queen, I don't know if I got you. I wanted to say hi to you as well, my brother. But yeah, so that's the key there, man. The 16-8 method is the one we really recommend for most people. Now, right now, I think Cheryl asked me, she reached out to me the other day and asked me, was I still doing OMAD? And OMAD is for I want to break down that terminology for you guys. We showed that a little earlier, but OMAD stands for 1 meal a day. And I told you that was how I started. I started with the 1 meal a day method. I have since backed off from that. And the reason for it is that, because being quite honest, I don't say this to brag, but I lost so much weight and I lost it so quickly. I didn't want to continue to lose weight at that rapid of a pace. I mean, because I thought it was, I said, wow, I mean.
Good problem to have, brother. Good problem to have.
Yeah. And I mean, I had to change my entire wardrobe. And I started to buy new things, new wardrobe. And I didn't want to go through that process again. So I backed off a little bit. And now I'm doing something, I'm doing a variation of, I fast at least 18 hours a day. I do an 18 and 6 fast on Mondays through Fridays. And sometimes they may stretch up to 20 hours. So I do 18 and 6 Monday through Fridays. Then on weekends, I'll do what's called a warrior diet. In other words, I'll fast for 20 hours and I'll have a 4-hour eating window. And that allows me to eat twice during that day.
There's a couple questions out here I want to handle before we close out tonight.
Yeah.
Keely wanted to know what's the best time to work out. I know you know that answer. I do too. But why don't you break that down and why you work out during the time you do work out?
Yes. Keely, that's a great question. And I want to answer that one. I'm going to tell you guys this. Working out in a fasted state, in other words, while you're fasting, is one of the best workouts you can get. And I'm going to tell you something. The energy level that you have when you're working out while you're in a fasted state is incredible. We know the gyms are closed now, and I'll talk about that a little bit too in a minute. Gyms are closed now. But even when I'm going out walking now, I'm in my fasted state. Usually it's in the morning or something when I go walking, but I'm in that fasted state. And my walking things are a breeze. When I come back and doing push-ups or set-ups, I breeze through that stuff because I'm in a fasted state and I'm more energetic. So I strongly believe, and most people believe, that it's best to work out during your fasting window, during your fasting period.
Q, another reason why is because when you're working out during your fasted state, your body is already depleted of a lot of those carbs, and your body's using
Yes.
fats, and it's going to using ketones. And you heard of the keto diet. So
Yeah.
why your body needs more energy while you're working out, so it really taps into your fat storage.
Taps into those fats.
A lot more of that those poor fats, and it really kind of helps you with your weight in a fasted state when you're working out. And somebody else had a question.
Cheryl said, I like coffee with sugar-free creamer and stevia. Can I have it during the fasting window? Well, Cheryl, you can have coffee, but the sugar-free creamer is a no-no, but the stevia is fine. The stevia is a natural sweetener, artificial sweetener. That's fine. You can get away with stevia, but the artificial creamer will be a problem for you because, once again, it can elevate your insulin levels. And if it elevates them just a little bit, it'll kick you out of the fat burning mode. And you do want to try to avoid that. So that coffee would have to be black with the stevia, then you'd be fine. The same thing if it were tea, okay? Green tea or something of that nature. And when the tea I recommend you drink is not regular tea, but I always want to emphasize it's green tea, okay? Green tea.
Yep.
If you have any other questions, please, if anybody else have any questions tonight? Oh, Kevin Boo says he loved to work out in the morning. It gets the juices flowing. That's true, Kevin. It really does. It really does.
And it'll still do the same thing, Kevin. If you fasted, 4 hours the night before, and you woke up in the morning, you're still in the fast state, you go work out, it's still doing the same result. You're working out in the fasted state. And Kevin, by the way, man, you're killing it. You're killing it, boy.
Awesome, brother. Awesome, brother. Awesome.
It's going there. All right, man. Look, I'm gonna close out. Q. That's got our theme song. So, thank y'all, everybody. And
Hey, I want to thank everybody. Listen, I'm gonna leave y'all like I always do. I want you to tell you to just, remember, just let's love one another. Let's look out for one another. Let's just help one another. Like I said, this is a community here. We want to continue to develop this community. It's not about one of us. We're not in competition with each other. We're not trying to outrun somebody. I walked more miles than you. I ran more miles than you. I ate less food than you. It's not about that. It's about helping each other, guys. That's what we're going to do. It's not a competition here. Helping all of us improve. That's what we want to do. So until the next show next week, and we're going to, we want, hey guys, you have some ideas or shows, things you want us to talk about, put them in the comments below. Put them in the comments below, and we'll talk about some of those things. But we're gonna have a brand new show next week, and we're gonna pick out a subject, and we're gonna talk about that. But until then, we want you guys to have a great night, the rest of your night. Remember to hang in there. If you have additional questions, leave them below. We'll answer those later, or maybe tomorrow morning if I can't get them to them tonight. And just to be good to one another, okay? We're going through a lot, guys. We're all going through a lot. But we're going to get through this, and we're going to get to the other side. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. Good night, man. Good night, everybody. Peace.
All right, everybody.